Hello and welcome to this Tango tutorial video about the Parada and Lapiz after a cross position. So we saw different ways to get into the cross from parallel system. One was to have the walk, I create space and I lead into the cross. Now I change the weight and I start to lead the decrossing, and while I'm doing this I start to project. I get a little bit closer, it could be very close, it could be not so close, just in the middle, and I invite her to come here. Now, I could either use this to do a half turn, I like this very much, and then I continue with something, whatever in this direction, or I can lead it with 2 Ochos. See one more time, preparatory step, 1, 2, into the cross, I change the weight, I lead the decross, project, we have the sandwich position, and I go around and have this exit. The other option would be directly into the cross. From this position, to have 1 forward Ocho, stay where you are, accompany the second forward Ocho, and exit into the same direction. What are the difficulties? The difficulty number 1 is that sometimes we use so much that when we have the cross, it's like 1 and 2, and we continue so much, and when we want to stop, it's even like, she's already running into the next step. I would say, of course, it always depends on both, but this is something we create in ourselves, in the couple, and if I lead the cross, I want her to arrive on both legs. And I can have this state of arriving either in a relaxed, more melting, or I can have this state in a little bit more up energy. Sometimes we use the butterfly image or the torero image, and she's in this. If I'm creating the cross like this, she will stay there. And also it will feel comfortable because we arrive and there's this, what will happen? Maybe I go around, maybe I go back, and something else will appear. Right? But the word is suspension. We arrive into the cross and we create this suspension. And now if I want to have the parada, I release this suspension into Lapiz for her, and I have all the time of the world to have my little projection forward. We recently saw another video where we did the Parada from a forward Ocho. Here I project in front of her. If I do it from the cross, I could do this, but usually I project forward. So now I'm in between, my foot is in between her 2 feet, and we have a sandwich position. Yes. How can we play with this sequence? Until now, when she's doing the cross, I'm just putting my foot in front of her. By that, we keep the same alignment that we have been dancing before. Another option could be to make her arrive into the cross and go a little bit around. By that, we will have something that she will look perpendicular to the direction that she was looking before. I still look to the same, but by that, the exit position is different. And for example, now we are in Ochos perpendicular to the direction of the dance, and not as before when we were doing it, Ochos that were in the direction of the dance. So this is a small detail, but it has a huge effect on the orientation of your exit, and also on your creativity or on your improvisation. If you always exit like this, you will always have this position. If you start to play with going more around, you will start to have a different angle, and maybe, this will inspire you to continue differently. If you come from close embrace, let's sum this one time up. So we had in open embrace, preparatory step, 1, 2, third step into the cross, search the suspension, release the suspension, and find the parada with the sandwich. Exit either 1 ocho, second ocho, or 1 ocho. I take the position where I was standing before, and I exit back and side. From the other side, and 1, 2, 3 into the cross. Projection, 1 ocho, second ocho, or 1 ocho facing around and diagonally back, and invite you to step here, and we go there. That was an open embrace, what we had seen until now. No, and we had the second one that when we arrive into the cross, we can walk a little bit around her and have a slightly different position here. Also, maybe this is more interesting to change the direction and then have a hero into the other direction. Yeah, play with this, it will create something new. And Tango, we want to improvise, so we want to get into a position, a step, a feeling that we didn't do just before. And if you change the angle here, you will get up with something new. Now, if we do it in close embrace, it could look like this. We arrive, and we have a very gentle way to do it small. In close embrace, I prefer to have it with the after. We could also do it from outside walk, and have it up. You saw, it's very common that you open a little bit, but it's possible also to keep it closed. So, if you want to stay in close embrace, it can be nice. But, if you want to have more dynamics, it can be a very good moment to open a little bit. And this opening can be just a little bit, that it's like a little bit as you see here, and then it's already closed. Or this opening could be that we really center away and have a lot of space between us, and then for the exit we get close again and we are back in close embrace. So also this is something you can play. How much after the cross you want to open to have that. As you saw now, I was doing this moment of opening after she arrived. So I first establish the suspension, and then I take your space, and we are in independent axis. Or I could send her. So we have before she reaches the axis, already here I let her continue along, and we reach it through this. Yes. In order that this works, we have this mirroring exercise, and if we search both to be inside, we are late in close embrace. If we create this idea, okay, I'm going backwards, she's also doing. So I don't have anything like, now you go away. I just like create space, and she's feeling that and taking the space. And by that, it's very fluid, and no effort needed to have this opening, or also the closing again after the Ocho. It's very nice for the milonga. If you have a lot of space, you can also use more open positions. If you don't have a lot of space, you can get it more closed. And it's always a very nice moment also to feel what's the energy, what's the idea of my lady here, or also here. Listen to how much time does she want to use for this? What does she want to tell you in this moment? And also followers, don't be afraid of taking this time and showing what you want and making this. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to your comments.